Hello and welcome to TransByDef. My name is Morgan Fay, and for those of you who've been following the channel, you might remember some of my videos from, well, quite some time ago. Those who are newer that are interested, some of my older videos, as well as my introduction videos in the archive of this channel. I don't know if this is going to represent a return to the channel for me, or if it's something that's going to be more regular. I guess I'm just going to have to see how it plays out for me. But there was a topic that was very serendipitous for me to talk about, and without further ado, that topic is going to be support groups. Now I'm about 3 years, a little over 3 years into transition, and during that entire time I've never been to a support group until very recently. I've been to just a couple of sessions, and I'm actually going to a session today. So I'd like to give you some of my reasons for not going for so long, and some of the reasons that I'm going to continue to go at least for a while. So when I first decided to transition, I went to a therapist in order to get my letter. Therapy was, well, it left a pretty bad taste in my mouth. Therapist just wasn't really good at interacting with a transgender person. When I got my letter, that was pretty much it. Didn't go back, and in all honesty, therapists didn't want me back either. So since then I've been doing it on my own, and I think that's what's been wearing on me, and the reason I need to go to a support group. It can be a very isolating feeling when you don't have any interaction with other members of the community, other than, you know, screen names on Facebook, or so to speak. You don't actually relate with them as actual individuals, as human beings. You don't get to know them. You don't realize you're not the only one. And that was one of the big issues that I had to deal with, is that while my family was amazingly supportive, I couldn't ask for more support from my family, and especially from my wife. Once I left the house, everything was on my own. You know, I transitioned on the job, so I had to deal with everything that comes up with that on my own. Whether or not to use, when I started using restrooms that match with my presentation, that was something I had to face pretty much on my own. It feels very overwhelming that it's you against the world, and it's not a true statement. I mean, obviously my family was there and they had my back. But it feels that way. It feels very overwhelming, one individual against everyone else, against all the hatred and bigotry out there. So a support group kind of brings that connection to know that it's not me against the world. And, you know, everyone's got their own little segment that they have to deal with, but we are all interconnected and we're all dealing with similar issues. To know that I'm not the only one. You know, even though I knew that rationally, that doesn't mean that I necessarily felt that connection, and felt it in my core that, you know, it wasn't just me, wasn't just isolated from everyone else, from being othered. You know, it was my issue, my difference, my dysphoria that kept me separate from the world, the community. Even with my family, as supportive as they are, it becomes a one-way kind of thing of support, where it's always me that needs that comfort, or me that's had a bad day because I was misgendered, or because I missed on a promotion that I should have got otherwise. So that wears on you. That becomes that constant sense of needing support without being able to offer it back. And of course I did. You know, with my family's other, you know, they have things that they need to deal with as well, and I try to be there for them, but it seems very, very one-sided, and that one-sidedness tends to make you feel more of a victim, more run down, more pathetic. So in the support group, I find that what I'm gaining from it, and I wasn't sure what I was going to get from it, and I think that was another big issue, is that I didn't know what I needed from a support group. I didn't know what it could offer to me. And that was one of the reasons that I didn't actually go to a support group for so long, because I knew I could do this on my own, and I did. But there's definitely a toll that you pay. You know, part of it was convenience. You know, until recently, the only support groups were in a metro area that was several hours drive away, and it was not something that I felt was worthwhile to go to. So I never put in the effort. And also, I just, you know, I can do it on my own, so, you know, that time and that space can be better served by other people who need it. Well, what I'm finding is that in that support group, it's that connection to other people, that erasure of the feeling of isolation, as well as the ability to give back. And that's actually, I think, critical for me, knowing that support isn't just one-sided, that I can give support to other people who are in similar situations through my own experiences, through my own understanding. That ability to give back, that ability to be there for other people, especially, you know, people who are starting early out on their transition, that's hugely empowering. That makes my role and my course in life feel like it's worthwhile, and that I can continue to fight, because I'm not just fighting for myself and my own, you know, needs and selfish needs sometimes, you know, my brain will tell me, but for other people. So I need that, and that's also one of the reasons that I'm doing this video again, and maybe other videos in the future. You know, I don't get the immediate response, and I don't know who I'm helping with videos, but by putting them out there, you know, I can remember back to when I first started transitioning, and this channel, as well as a few others, was critical in giving me that hope that things would get better. So, you know, I need to do that. It's as much as a selfish need as a selfless one. So I'm finding that for me, a support group might be very necessary, or not necessary, but very, very empowering, very helpful to me. And I didn't think I would get much out of it. I wasn't sure that it would be useful at all for me. But as transitioning has taught me, there's many surprises along the way, and a lot of things that I thought previously turned out to be different once I experienced them. So those of you who feel disconnected, those of you who feel that it's you against the world, and those of you that feel a need to give back, to feel that sense of empowerment, a support group is sometimes a perfect forum in order to do so. It's nice to know that maybe your experiences, as difficult as they might help someone else. That maybe you can help people navigate an area that you had difficulty in, and that they might have experiences or knowledge that can help you navigate an area that you're finding difficulty, that you're finding hard to move past. I think everyone is going to get something different from a support group, but I think, in my experience so far, that this support group has been far better than even therapy, because it really allows me to connect to people, allows me to connect to people who are sharing the same experiences, same fears, same concerns, and through that, strength in numbers, you know, empower us to move through our day and move through our life and to make it better. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you're interested in me doing further videos, let me know. Until then, I'll see you next time on TransByDef.